Hey, welcome to Kate Crafts. I'm Kate. Today I would like to share with you my second project for the Christmas in July 2023 Linky Party. Let's get started. To kick things off, I have gone ahead off camera and used the Outside In Stitch Circle Dies by Fawn, and now all I'm going to do is inlay it back into where I cut it from. Now this is some Hammermill cardstock, I believe, and I am using the Cheery Christmas like I did in the first video, which was actually supposed to be my second video, but I got turned around while I was doing my voiceovers, and this one is my second. So if you haven't watched my first video yet for the Build Your Stash Holiday Card Challenge Linky Party, which is a mouthful to say, I encourage you to go ahead and watch the first one, because this stamp set is just the cutest. So I've taken my full Postit note that I've got on the back of my hand there and just quickly stamped out my image. And now I'm just going to stamp this up a couple of times and then I'll set that off to the side. So next up we have gotten our stamp mask here in the pink, and I've cut it all out and I've taped it down to where it needs to be. And then I've taken some more full stick Postit note and I am doing a snowbank, just masking it off, and then I'm taking the Tumbled Glass and just going around the edges and bringing it into the center. I didn't want this to be too dark. I wanted this to be more of almost like a daytime scene, whereas the one that I made last time was kind of more like a nighttime scene. I really like this stamp set. I think the deers in it are so cute. And I hope Fawn comes out with another set of them because they're cute and I want them all. So next up we are going to go in with some FineTec Pearlescent colors, and we have got the Pearl Silver that we are going to do a little bit of splatter with. So I'll add in some more water to my hand here and we will just splatter that all over the place. That way it'll give it a little more of the depth with the snow. I did this in my last card video and I really like this technique. And then I'll just go in with some of the Pearl Silver and create more little snowflakes. So I'll set that off to the side to dry, and once that's dry we are going to do a little peel and reveal, and then that way we can do a little bit of Copic coloring. Now I probably could have done the Copic coloring first and then gone in and done all of this, but sometimes, well, not sometimes, most of the time I should say, I never really plan out the process of my cards. I always get an idea in my head and then just kind of run with it. And sometimes when I'm running with it, I end up running into a wall, and then I get myself stuck. But so far so good. I really like the process of this video. I probably could have done this first and then just gone over it with the mask again, like I said, but it is what it is. Sometimes we cannot organize our thoughts well enough to get them into some sort of semblance of cohesion, but it all works out in the end. So I probably should tell you a little bit now, while I'm putting my foot in my mouth, about the Linky Party. Now, if you haven't watched my first video, and you don't know what the Linky Party is all about, I will tell you now. If you want to go ahead and skip ahead to the end of the coloring, be my guest, I won't be upset. But the Linky Party is a Build Your Stash Holiday Card Challenge party where an entire week goes by from July 21st to the 28th, where you can link up your freshly conceived projects. So you make a Christmas card that week, you post it on your social media, and then you take the link from your social media and you upload it into the Linky Party blog site, or spot, or post. I'm not too versed in the blogosphere and the terminology for it. I was never a blogger. I'm more of a video maker. So if you do that, then you have a chance to win a prize from one of our sponsors. Now, if you want to know what all of those sponsors are, I encourage you to go over to the blog and check them all out for yourself, because they are quite a few to mention. and I think I'd leave the surprise up to you guys, so you guys can go ahead and check them out yourself. So here I've just taken the white gel pen and did a bit of the line along the snow here, and then I'm just going to take my Wink of Stella. Like in the first video I did, I used the white pearl, or the pearl silver, sorry, watercolor paint and just painted on the snow, and this time I decided it would be fun to use the Wink of Stella to give it a little bit of twinkle. And there you have my little deer. He's so stinking cute. I love him. So now again with that red cardstock, I've gone ahead and used the outside in stitched scallop die, and then I cut out the center of it because like I really enjoy saving the insides if you're not going to see them. And when I plopped that down on top, I thought, you know what? I think I like it better on top than I do behind it, so that's what we're going to do today. What I've got here is some leftover release tape backing, and I'm going to cut myself a strip of foam tape that I got from the dollar store, and we are going to use it to cut the foam tape. Now this foam tape is sticky, and any foam tape I have always gunks up my scissors. And I mean, you could use a powder tool on them. You could get anti-stick scissors, I guess. I don't know. I guess they exist. I've never used a pair, but I find that if I save pieces of the backing of the tape that I use, then I can use them. And in a pinch, if I really need to, I find that wax paper also does the job too. So if you've got wax paper in your stash or in your kitchen, tear yourself off a little piece and try it out. It actually works. It keeps my scissors from getting completely like gunked up, and I don't have to clean them as much as I usually would have. So once I've got that all the way around, I'm going to go ahead and add some glue once I've pulled up the release tape. That way I have a little bit of wiggle room because this stuff is super sticky. So here I'm just going to line everybody up there, and I'm going to plop him on in there. So once that's done, I will add in my frame. So now I've got the outside in stitched rectangle die, and I've gone ahead and cut my piece out. Again, this is the, I believe it's the Let It Shine Snowflake paper pack in Polar? Yeah, that's the Snowflake paper pad Let It Shine in Polar. And I really like this card stock from Lawn Fawn. I think it's really elegant and pretty. And the bright, Cheery and Bright, all I've done is stamped out on the same kind of paper as the images stamped on my little deer here. And I used a banner die and just partial die cut it to get the size that I need, because I don't have a very lengthy stash of banner dies, so I have to make do with what I have, and I generally tend to partial die cut when I'm doing banner dies. And if you don't know what partial die cutting is, I've probably got a video somewhere, or there is a video on YouTube somewhere showing how to do that. And because I don't like wasting this pretty paper, what we're going to do is we are going to use the outside in stitched scallop die, and I'm going to use the largest and the second largest, and we're going to cut these both out together. Now you're not going to see the second one cut out because it'll be covered by the Polar Snowflake paper. So all I'm going to do here is line everybody up and then take some of my yellow low-tack tape, and then we're going to cut this a few times, quite a few times through, because this is finicky paper. I really love this glitter cardstock, especially in this red. I've got a few other colors as well that I haven't used yet, but because it's so finicky, I'm going to take my sand eraser here and just kind of sand off some of the edges, because I think it's just the way the paper is layered onto itself with this glitter cardstock. It's a little bit thicker than regular cardstock. It could be 110 pounds. I don't know. It's the dollar store. It's kind of questionable when it comes to the dollar store and the quality of their paper, but I really like this. And again, I hope they bring more of this out either at Christmas time or throughout the season, because If I see it again, I'll probably buy more of it up because it is very pretty. Now, I don't think the United States has the Dollarama. I don't know if that's just in Canada, but if you go to your dollar store, just check for this gorgeous, like no shed glitter cardstock. I love it. So once I've got all that edge cleaned up, I'm going to take that little bit and set it off to the side so I could use it in another card. And that way I've got the matchy going on with the red glitter here. So again, I'm going to cut some of the foam tape, and we are going to use the leftover from another piece of tape that I had. Now, I've explained how to do this earlier, so we are going to skip ahead. So I've got this pre-cut card base from my stash here, and I'm just taking it down just a smidge because I don't want it to show up behind the scalloped edge. I really like how the card looks when you don't see the card base in behind when you're dealing with the scalloped edge. So I'm just lining everybody up here to see if I need to cut off any more, and I do, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll cut it down to 5 1/4 by 4. I find that that works very well with the largest outside in stitched scallop die by Fawn. And then we'll just center that up into the middle like that. And then once I'm happy with that, I'll give that a mash down. And then we'll go ahead and add in some more foam tape. Now, you don't have to do this bit with the foam tape. You could just glue it on top. I wanted to give it a little bit of dimension because I thought this card was kind of pretty the way it all came together. So again, we'll go ahead and brush through that real quick and we'll get to the juicy bit here. So I'm just going to peel off all of the release tape to the backing, or the front of this card I should say, and then I'll add a little bit of glue. Now you'll see why here in a second, why I try to add a little bit of glue. Because I don't pay attention sometimes to what I'm doing and I get everything all nice and neat and give it a smash. Oh crud. So because I put down that glue, I'm able to very gently lift this up without ripping everything because I would be very sad. And we are going to add some more glue because I peeled off a lot of that glue initially. Make sure it's the right way because you don't want to do that a second time. And then once I'm happy with the placement, I will mash everything down together here in a second. And my card will be complete. See? Ta-da! So again, I urge you to go ahead and check out the Build Your Stash Holiday Card Challenge blog for all the more juicy information. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.